All right, so what we're going to look at today we're still going to work with the two-way frequency tables, but they're going to have like a variable on them. So I put it as like a fill in the blank, but it'll usually be a variable and not just a blank. So we'll have something that looks like this. You can see there is for girls who play sports. It still works pretty similar to what we were doing. We got to get a proportion for it, and it's a percentage proportion. It says in this case, if 20% of the students are girls who play sports, how many play sports? So it says of the students, and then it's are girls who play sports. So those are two things for the left side. The difference with these is it gives us the percentage. It says 20%. So we got 20 over 100. Now we got to get the stuff for the other side. So how do we find the total number of students? Add them all together. So we got, let's see, 20 plus 24 is 44. That makes 73. That makes 86. And that makes 100. Is that all of them? No, we're still missing the girls who play sports, right? That's X. So the total will be 100 plus X. How many girls play sports then? No. We need our top number. What goes on top? X, yeah. So not all of these are going to have the two variables like that. Some of them will. Now, before Desmos, what you would need to do is you would need to cross multiply here. So 100 plus X times 20, and then 100 times X. And then you would have to solve for X. Desmos makes things a whole lot easier with this. So on Desmos, what you have is you are going to put the left side of your proportion. The testing version of Desmos does not allow you to put the equal sign and the right side. If you use the regular version of Desmos, you could do that. But since this one does not, we need to put it as a separate equation. When we did equations with variables on each side, or we did the equations on Desmos, if you remember, we got to add a little extra. We got to do y equals also. So when it's just a number, when there's no variable, get y equals. So we got y equals 20 over 100. So what we're looking for then is where they cross. Sometimes with lines like this, especially, it's going to be like flat kind of lines, so it makes it a little harder to see. But as you click, you can see how that gray dot appears. Makes it a little bit more helpful. All right, so where they cross is right there at 25 and 0.2. So what that means is our answer is the X value, because our variable that we used was X. So we would have X equals 25. All right, everybody okay with that? And just to show you how that works, if I do 25 over 125, which is what I would have if I put 25 in for X, and I do my blank over 100, when I do my proportion there, when I cross multiply and divide, I'm going to get that 20% that we were getting, or it said we were going to get before. Any questions on that? All right, give this one a try. 25% of the students eat pancakes for breakfast. How many girls eat pancakes for breakfast? This one's a little trickier, or a little bit different. So get your proportion first. All right, everybody think they can give me the proportion? Emmy? Not quite. She said x over 76 plus x equals 25 over 100. So that's what she said. How many of y'all had that? Most of y'all probably. That actually had something. There's something missing. It says of what? Of students, right? So of the students, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Meant to do that. It says of the students, what's the top number though? What does it say next? Eat pancakes for breakfast. So how many eat pancakes for breakfast? 13 plus x. All right, so when it says of the students, that was everybody. That's where we got the 76 plus x. And then it says eat pancakes for breakfast. The eat pancakes is that column right there. All right, now it's only asking us about the girls. Well, that's still going to be solving for x. So who's got that answer? Rick? No, we're not going to have negative numbers. That sounds right, but not quite. No. Did we add wrong? No, that's 76. All right, so we got 13 plus x over 76 plus x. So the first thing you have to do is you have to make sure that you got the top and the bottom on it. All right? The two ways you could do that are like I did, and I put parentheses on the top, or what you can do is put your little, and that'll give you like the fraction. Either one works. Probably doing the slash first will be easier for most of y'all. Yeah, 8's correct. Who said 8? Rick did.
Jasmine said it. He said it first.
My bad. When I put it in the calculator, I forgot to add to the bottom number. All right, so that gives us our 8. That means 8 girls eat pancakes. Desmos makes things, like I said, a whole lot easier with these. All right, so let's try another one. 30% of the girls attend a community college. All right, so get your proportion. All right, give me a proportion. Yeah, we got our 30%, so we got 30 over 100. It says of the girls, so you got to add up all of the girls. That gives us 49 plus X. And then on the top, it's attend community college. That was our X. So we're looking for where those are going to cross. So just like we said, or just like the other ones, when we put them in, the other thing you can do, as long as you make sure your numbers are right, you can just keep the same thing in if you're doing a bunch of them that are the same. That doesn't really work for the EOC or a check-in or anything, but for classwork like this, just changing or altering the equations that you have each time, that'll work. And you can see, like Aiden said, we're crossing there at 21. All right, is this a bit trickier than what we did yesterday? Yeah, a little bit. It's just you gotta be careful when you set them up, even more so than yesterday. So let's look at one a little trickier. This is an old 8th grade EOG question. So obviously y'all don't take the EOG, you take a EOC, but still, same type idea. First off, what do you notice about the table? 2 variables. So since there's 2 variables, how many proportions do you think we got to do? Yeah, so we're probably going to have to do it twice. The next thing to notice on this is, what's it say about those percentages? Rounded. So like 67%, odds are good. What that is that's like 2/3. And you remember, like, if you get 2/3, it's 0.6 repeating, and that's probably how that one's going to end up. And that's all that means, is that you got something that has like a repeating decimal or like some sort of irrational number to it. Probably not irrational, but a repeating decimal. So first one, of the students in math club. How many students are in math club? 16 plus X. All right, everybody good with that part? We got 100%. We're going to go about 67%. The other thing that rounded number means is we're probably not going to get an exact number. How many of those are not in literature club? 16. All right, so there is our proportion. Who's got that answer? Rick? Well, we can't have decimals of people. 8 is correct. Y'all, people are people. All right, if we got a decimal, we got to make that a whole person, okay? Since it said rounded, we're not going to get the answer exactly. Put this in, you got about 8. You said 7.8 something, right? So that's what's going to happen on these. All right, so we got about 8 here. Everybody good with 8? All right, so now we got the next one. It says, of the students not in math club. So how many students are not in math club? 4 plus Y. Not in math club. It's the column right here. Now, the one thing I'm going to do differently with this one than what the problem shows, I'm going to use X again. That's just because that's how Desmos works, okay? Desmos will work best with X being there. Then it says, are not in literature club. How many of those are not in literature club? Y. So, again, we're going to put X. So like I said, the main thing with this is you want to keep like your variables good for Desmos. Keeping it with X's on our proportion probably makes that a bit better. Kevin, what you got? 14? No? Oh, wait, never mind. I misadded. All right, so we got 14. And because that wasn't challenging enough, what's the answer? A is correct. It says X plus Y, so you got to add them together, and you get A. Any questions on this? I said it's not like necessarily horrible because Desmos does most of the hard work. It gets a little confusing setting them up.